Alrighty, hello, good morning, and welcome to today's stream. We are once again running late. Apologies. Another late night last night, but we're here. And we're ready to jump right in to the action. Welcome in, everyone. Let me... There we go. Flip that on. It's a new month. It's a new month. There we go. Alrighty. So yeah, as you can see in the chat, we got the agenda pretty straightforward today, but we're gonna do work on the fusion. So we got a gear cleanse. I have a massive backlog of artifacts. They're overfilling my inventory. So we're gonna try and work our way through that. I'm ignoring the accessories for now. I do also have like a bunch of pinpoint and crap here, so I have to work through that as well, but nah. Anyways, gear cleanse, then we're gonna work on Grim Forest. I got my energy saved up. We're on normal mode, so it's probably not gonna be that exciting. And then if there's time, we'll do some live arena. But I think the first order of business is I'm a little bit behind the news, but I did see / watch a video and read up on the buffs for the month, and pleasantly surprised. Let me put it that way, pleasantly surprised. And for once, I actually have the champions, so we talk through a little bit. Got Vergamkar and Danag, yeah. So Vergamkar, I guess he's going from like an average legendary to like above average. I would say the buff takes him from like C+ to B. Somewhere in that vein is what I would kind of like characterize it. But for those who don't know, on the A1, it's gonna have a higher chance to stun by like 5%, so it's a little bit better. But the second part is what changed more, where it's like extra 25% chance if the champion has one buff. However, that is a double-edged sword, as always, because that means that if you have any buff and there's an enemy Vergamkar, they're going to have a 75% chance to stun you in PvE content. So it kind of goes both ways. Then this was a really nice change where, like, instead of it just being provoke and one debuff, it is a full cleanse and then a shield and increased defense, which is pretty solid. And I think this goes from 20% to 30%. So he's a little bit, it's just a full cleanse, which is nice. Nicer, I should say. Then this one, same thing, same treatment. Instead of it doing one random, two random, whatever else, it's just full buff strip plus your reduction, decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown, which is good. This has already been a solid ability. Granted, it takes a bunch of books and it's on a 5-turn unbooked, and you see mine is unbooked. I use him for faction wars, but I don't know if I'm gonna book him afterward either, to be fair, just because meh. But 5-turn cooldown unbooked is kind of brutal, especially with not 100% chance. But anyways, yeah, full buff strip, full cleanse, good stuff on him. I think this changes to he's immune to provoke and stun, so you can't provoke him, you won't be able to provoke him, you won't be able to stun him. And then it'll fill his turn meter. I think this goes up to 25% if you try to place provoke or stun on him specifically. That could be scary. So again, thinking enemy combatant PvE content. And what is happening? That's my music not playing. What the hell? Oh. Weird. Okay. And then I think the second part they're adding is whenever you try to provoke or stun allies of him, or enemies, right? If you're thinking enemy combatant once again, I think it gives him 15% turn meter. So going against him in waves is gonna be a little bit harder, because if you go in with an AoE stun, you're gonna give him a bunch of turn meter, and most likely, it depends on the AI. I think he's gonna start with the cleanse. So we got to be careful, a little bit more cautious, I guess, when you're going against him specifically in wave content. I don't remember, because I usually don't worry that much about broken cars, unfortunately, in enemy waves, because he's not that strong. But after the buff, he might be, you know, a little bit more inspection required when you see him around, I think. So that'll be interesting to kind of see how that fares out. Obviously, you can still lock him out and other stuff, so there's that. But yeah, I think it's a solid buff. But, you know, like I said, he's not going to be, you know, he's not S tier, but he's never going to be S tier because he's like a PvE utility debuffing buff strip cleanse champion. So, in terms of my build, though, because he has a 5-turn cooldown, I just put him in 4-piece Merciless. I didn't really put much thought into it. Like I said, for me, he's just purely a Faction Wars champion, so he has a decent amount of speed and then enough accuracy to strip buffs. So, probably going to be unchanged, but something to consider at least, maybe. I don't know. So that was buff 1, which is super solid, in my opinion. Buff number 2 was Danag Skull Reap. Who I do, again, also happen to have. And... okay, sorry, I was refreshing something. Cool. And yeah, he's in, like, absolute garbage gear on my account, but he just has some stuff on. Kind of going off memory here, so I might miss a few things, but... if I remember correctly, I think the chance to place decreased defense goes up a little bit, and they basically reworked his entire kit to be more to include Sylvan Watchers, aka Wood Elves, in terms of what he doesn't like or is a hard counter to. But the more important part is that I guess it's part of his passive, really. But essentially, as long as he has more crit damage than the target, which is really easy to do relative to PvE content, because they don't really operate based on crits. So maybe like Shogun's Grove is like the one, etc., where they operate on crits. But you're not going to use them there. But as long as you have more crit damage than your enemy, everything you do can't be resisted. So you no longer need accuracy on this guy, which is really cool. So I'm definitely going to tweak his build a little bit because of that. But yeah. A1, decreased defense, double hitter. I think it increases against one of the elves. And then if you're doing it against an elf, I think it cannot be blocked or resisted or something like that. At least it can't be blocked. So it can ignore block debuffs on elves, which is really cool. And then AoE here is unchanged. I think they changed all his multipliers too. They made them higher. AoE, 100% chance, same thing. Decrease actually true fear. But same rules as the kind of the A1 where like they can't block it if they're an elf, will include the Sylvan Watchers. And then this one's kind of like the most intriguing to me because it will ignore it already ignored shields. They're adding ignoring killable, and then it places the increased crit damage before he attacks, which again synergizes with his new passive where if he has higher crit damage, he doesn't need accuracy. And then it's going to ignore 20% defense by default, but if it's against one of the elf factions, it's going to ignore 40% defense, which catches my eye. Because I know most people have experienced, thinking like Hardmon Faction Wars or Centrano stages, where you got those, those pesky Elvas, or the pesky, what's her name, Clydna after her buff, Emic, Emic Drunkheart with the unkillable. So more or less, he can just like one-shot, in theory, I should say, he could just like one-shot an Elva in PvE content, which should be really, really exciting. So that's cool. Yeah, this part stayed the same. heals himself every time he kills someone. Extra turn if he kills one of the elves. Again, they're adding Sylvan Watchers to the elf factions, and then as we discussed, your crit damage is higher, you don't need accuracy. Once again, unbooked. So these champions, I put them in niche content if they are needed and fit the restrictions, but they're not really important. And unfortunately, these buffs aren't going to make them more important. I'm not going to book either of these champions, most likely. But it does mean that, and in fact, because we're going to do a gear cleanse, I might as well move myself already. Hop over here in the middle. We can preemptively... Oh, we can't take it off because our inventory is full. Sag. Here, I don't know what's going on with the music today. Let me just refresh the page. Alright. Hopefully that works. Alright, so we take off the accuracy banner. And we look at attack banners. Pretty sure Crocat has like the best one, right? The double speed. Although I kind of wonder now. Is it better to on Crocat? Do I really care about the speed, or do I really care more about the attack? I might care more about the attack, honestly. Right. 555. Oops. Taking stock of my silver at the moment because it is gear enhancement, so we might as well see if this doubles attack. Ooh, it did. Oh, actually, it's a bummer. I might actually take this. Ah, god damn it. Bro, I absolutely hate having a full inventory. Lower? Oh yeah, I could even glyph it. Let's throw a 5-star in there, yeah? 3, 4, 5. Come on. 5. There we go. That's not as much of an increase. Oh, I forgot. The other one's ascended attack. That's fine. Alright, there we go. So there's that. This is not bad, but it's not necessary anymore. Or won't be necessary. So let's see, crit damage with attack. Oh wow, okay. We don't have many options apparently. 5-star with an attack roll. For obvious reasons, right? I don't, you know, usually keep accessories that are just pure flat stats. That's 29. Wow, look at the spread on the flat roll. 29 here, but 15 here. Obviously, we got a big boy glyph for some reason. Not giving him that one. 46 Mercurial. 45. Okay, I'm between these two. Oof. Full split is rough. Full split is rough. What's up, Dex? How's it going? This one might win by default. Yeah, especially if it double doubles, triple single. Damn. I can't give you that now. It's a triple roll. Okay, I think I will do a swap here. Varl will, or Danag will take Varl's because no one else needs it. And then Varl gets the triple with the single roll now for the extra attack because Varl's more important. Varl is on my hard Hydra team, so it makes more sense to DPS max him. Boy comparison. Get like a 20 something. No? Let's not get a 20 something. 3 more tries. 2 more tries. There we go. I just went over them, unfortunately. I'm not gonna repeat myself. But I think they're solid. I think they match where they're at, so to speak. So they're not going to become like S tier PvP champions or anything like that, but I think they're respectable now in their own. They're more useful in where they were useful before. So Vergamkar is a lot more reliable as a cleanser, protector, debuffer. And then Danag should be better at really dealing with any Elven content. Or sorry, Elven champions in restrictive content. Where you can use him, I think he's actually going to be super solid. Well, maybe not super solid. He's going to be solid. Double roll. Oh, weird. Why do I have... I don't know why I didn't swap these earlier. This should go to Crocad. And then I guess this could go to Varl. Which leaves this one for, well, no. Which one do I want on Nogdar? I guess I could put that one on Nogdar. So this one then is for you. I guess I was like waiting for a merciless ring that doesn't exist. Yeah. That's actually, that's 300 more attack on him. That's like, oh, we're not quite to 10k on the Crocat. But we're getting closer. Okay, so that's that updated. Where's my Varl? Varl is 4-star. That's not too bad, actually. 1 in 3. Aw, rip. Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. Straight up. Okay, Nogdar, where are you at, fam? He is 1 star, I think. 2 star. Okay. All right, where are we at so far? 4,600, not bad. After reworking a little bit, actually still too high. So we don't need perception anymore. All right, we're full. Derp. Do I have any chaos ore? Got two epic. We have no more gloves. Oh wow. Ooh, triple roll. Okay. Oof. For anyone who wasn't here last night and cares, I did manage to beat Elden Ring, so I'm officially an Elden Lord, I believe. So took 31 days of play to beat the main story. We're not done, of course, but super happy that I honestly, I mean, I knew I could do it, but still, it's like, it feels surreal. It is like, yeah, I actually learned enough of this ridiculously complicated combat system to actually beat it. Now, am I gonna be able to do a no-death run right out of the gate? Absolutely not. But, you know, gotta start somewhere. So that's super fun. But yeah, I think going forward, now that I've healed a little bit more from my hamstring pull, I plan to return to the gym in some capacity next week, which all that means is that there'll be a little less Elden Ring everyday situation going on. So we'll probably actually embark on my real plan, which was always like Tuesday, Saturdays for like the major Elden Ring streams. I'm still going to be playing offline or off stream, but as far as content wise, it's probably going to be less just because got to get back, start working out again. RNG is bad. I feel ya. Melania will humble me? Probably. Did I fight all the main bosses? I did, I think. Well, I don't know. You... no? What are you defining as main? I beat all of the story bosses. If you fight Melania off stream? No. That's gonna be on stream for sure. Ooh, I don't like full splits. Yes, so I beat Godric, I beat Renala, I beat Rykard, I beat Radon, I beat... So I'm blanking. Morgott. Is that 5? Yeah. We beat Morgott. Then we beat Radigan / Elden Beast. I've not beaten Blood Guy or Melania, no. That's why I say I beat the game with an asterisk. I beat the main plot. I did not beat every major boss. Plus, let's be honest, with how I've been playing the game, there's probably like 10 dungeons I just didn't see, right? So, you know, I haven't beat everything. There's probably a bunch of stuff that I like, oh yeah, there's a dungeon over here, dude. You didn't even see it. So there's going to be a little bit of that. Probably at this point I could just, you know, barrel roll over them. But yeah, I barely have done anything in the, was it the consecrated snowfields? That's the next area to explore. And then I haven't done like Dragon Barrow officially. So there's stuff out there I probably haven't done either. So we're not done, is my point. Good luck with those two. Yeah, well, I got murdered by Moog yesterday. That was fun. I thought I was doing fine, and then he just murdered me with like blood rings or whatever. I don't really know what happened, but he started talking in tongues and I died. That was fun. Let's see. I don't know if I want to use my 6-star epics on pinpoint at the moment. We have no impulse. I think my relentless is a bit more important at the moment because I'm really trying to get some good relentless pieces going. Missed a lot of nighttime bosses. That's probably true as well. I don't pay attention to the time of day at all whatsoever. I think I've killed 2 of the Black Knights or whatever. Ooh, HP with speed and oh. Bummer. Gave me hope there for a second. That's a weird stat mix. Crit damage with speed and res. HP again. Res. Ooh. Aw, sad. If that was double speed res, that would have been like a really baller piece. Shame. Oh well. Anyways, all right. That should have cleared up some space, right? Six slots. There we go. All right, so we don't need the perception. Man, this is some old gear. Okay. Yeah, it's just literally better. Okay. We can get rid of these. I have a rule, sort of, where if boots have a double crit, they need to be above 15%. And these boots have just been on him for so long that they predate that rule, probably. which is kind of sad. These are okay. I mean, it's double flat, but it's double crit. With some attack. I don't know if it's worthy of a 5-star glyph. Maybe a 4. 5-star flat I'm down with, though. Attack? Of course not. I'll come back to that. Attack with speed, crit damage, HP, that's fine. This is a very basic pair of gloves, but it's probably going to be the gloves that will stay on him. Unless we're just sitting on a gold mine. We already have the crit rate set, so I don't know if I really care about trying to do the crit damage set as well. Granted, that would synergize well with his new kit. Don't need accuracy. Probably don't need that much crit. Oh, I was actually just like, wait, I know the pair of gloves. These are free. Can hold these for now. And that synergizes well with the crit rate set because we're making up for the low crit rate on this. Where are we sitting at the moment? 80. So we need just 2 pieces of whatever. What's our speed? 208. So he's pretty quick already. So we need to. We don't need crazy stats here. Let me start with the helmet, actually. Am I just sitting on a gold mine? Yep. Double speed, double crit, attack, crit damage. Perfect. Okay, cool. So then we can filter on this, and then we do priority stats for low crit rates. Or wait, no, sorry. High crit rate. And then we go to the bottom. But I don't want to give him like useful sets, so I'm not going to give you Immortal. I'm not going to give him... I don't want accuracy. This is just unrolled. I'm not going to give him Relentless. This is like Whisper Gear or something. It's not really what we're looking for. Double speed, double res with crit damage. That's a solid baseline, I guess. Only because I'm looking at this as this is double speed crit damage. So that's our benchmark, meaning that the only way, so if it's double speed crit damage, that has to at least be epic. That's worse. Triple speed. We don't need triple speed. Speed crit damage. If this double doubles... Oh, single triple. He's already pretty quick at the 230. Going down 6 to get 14 crit damage. That might be worth it, honestly. Again, for a relatively unimportant champion. This gear might be a little too good, but also no one's using it, so I think I'm fine using it on this. Oh, all right. Not gonna glyph the speed. Oh crap, I forgot to check. That's the same. Don't need the accuracy. We don't need that much crit. Don't need crit. Slower speed, but more attack. This piece just sucks. I don't need this. More defense based. Speed crit. No, it's worse. Double crit speed attack. Probably more crit than I need for the build. Ooh, double speed crit damage with but there's no attack on it. I'm leaning towards this. And then we look for... I mean, we could do apples to apples here. If we change this to crit rate... Nah, it's too good. I'm not giving you speed gear. Oh, wait. What? How much crit was on that helmet? Wow, okay. If nine's not enough, we need like 18. Oh shit, wait, hold up. Let's see. Oh, that's why we're freaking right here. Okay, there we go. Because there's not going to be that many pieces. We need hella crit. So this is probably the only piece that would actually work in this situation. What's up? Excuse me. What's up, Dark? So we lose a little bit of HP. Don't care. 300 attack. Free glyph. We lose a bit of speed, but that should be irrelevant. Same crit damage. Worth. All right, updated the no accuracy build for Danag. Yeah, I'm mainly thinking there's a... I think generally speaking, when he's been an option in Centranos, I haven't really opted to use him. But after the buff, especially if their waves have like Elvas and shit, then I might be more inclined to put him in the team just because of his extra ignore defense against, you know, Elvas and Clydenas and all that type of stuff. So I'm actually keen to try him out. Unbooked still. Not booked. I don't care about this guy. I didn't build him. I built him long ago for for Curse City stages where he's applicable. I'm just updating his gear because of the future rebalance where he doesn't need accuracy anymore. So he had on like perception and he had an accuracy banner, which you don't need as long as you have high enough crit damage, which we do. So I'm just freeing up the gear that he just doesn't need, more or less. I did not change Vergamkar. He is in the same build he's been in since I've used him in Faction Wars. Where'd he go? Oh, he's up here. Also unbooked. But yeah, I just have him in like support Merciless 4-piece because this is a long ass cooldown of 5 turns unbooked, so Is he more useful? No. He's just better at what he does. Like, it's, you know, it's a full buff strip instead of one random buff, and then it's a full cleanse instead of one random debuff. So he's just better. He's on paper better for doing the same job he already did for me, which is just unbooked dude on team in Faction Wars. But the new passive is intriguing. So if there's a lot of stun and provoke waves, which there are obviously a lot of here and there, he's going to get a lot of turn meter, which is going to be useful, and that should synergize well with the new cleanse of removing all the CC, or all the debuffs, which include the CC. I'm still not going to book him though. But Lizardman, oh yeah, no, exactly. I'm not using it. He's not going to be used more than he was before. Absolutely not. Yeah. But he's going to be used the same and just be better. That's all. Good. Vergamcar interrupting Armons? No. Because Armon steals your turn meter first? So if he had a Marius passive where he was immune to turn meter decrease, then yes, he would absolutely counter Armons. Because you couldn't steal his turn meter and then he'd be immune to stun. But the way it would work is that Armons would steal all of your turn meter, and then because you tried to stun him, so he'd get 25%, and then assuming arena, then the other 3 people on your team would be stunned, which would give you 45% turn meter, so you'd be at 60 something. So you net lose turn meter still, so you would not cut in instantly. Assuming you were, you know, close to full turn meter to begin with, you lose turn meter overall. Only because he steals all of it. Hashtag Armons. These rebalances are built to make wave content more difficult. I don't think that's true. I think that's just a byproduct of champions being used as enemy combatants in waves. It's unavoidable. The only way you avoid that problem is if you only buff new champions who are not in wave content. So that's just not how it works. I think, like, for me, that aspect, while true, can never be a complaint because it's unavoidable. Unless they redesign how wave content works and the waves are not actual champions, they're just random things with random kits. Which I think would be worse. So it's like, I understand the sentiment of people who are like, oh my god, PvE content's harder. And it's like, okay. But then that means you don't want champion buffs. You know, it's like, which is fine. But like, you can't say, please buff this trash champion, but don't make them annoying in PvE content. How's that gonna work? The same, you know, unless you have like, oh, this champion only works this way when you have it, and then it works a different way. It works the old way when it's in PvE content. It works the new way when they're on my account, which is like, come on, guys, you know. That being said, though, who's number 1 on people's buff list for legendaries? Void or non-void? I'm on team Altan. Until they buff him, I will forever be on team Altan. Outdated AF. me look it up actually, because I remember I did a video on my top champion buffs. Baron? I don't know about Baron. He's already I mean, he's not like relevant anymore in PvP, but I think he's solid. Because he still has the splash damage BS thing on the A1, and then you just don't have to mess around with the secret skill anymore. You just have it. So I don't know. But yeah, Raglan is great. I genuinely want Raglan on my account for sure. But I have a bias where like I need more high-res Reviver Cleanser support champions for PvP specifically. Because most of the ones I have they're like dedicated to PvE because they're really good in PvE. Like Elva and Mavara and all these types of champions. And so I just don't have the gear. Like Siphi, same thing where she's protect. You know, I guess all those three are in protection. Even though I mean I use Siphi in PvP, in fairness, except Rotos. But I need a solid like speed aura support. I need like a Marichka. Lazarius. Because my only problem with I do like Ancora, but she doesn't heal. And that's my biggest gripe. I understand that every Reviver Cleanser doesn't need to heal, block debuffs, etc. But I really wish that this ability had a heal on it. Because she can't keep herself alive, which means you have to run someone else alongside her to keep her alive. Otherwise you just slowly die over time if you take damage. Which is why for me it's annoying to use Ancora alone as a Reviver. But it's like, you know, obviously I lean heavily on my Galath here because I'm fortunate enough to have him, but it's like he doesn't have a speed aura. But, you know, first world problems. Oltan? Dude, Oltan of the Shell's gotten 2 buffs. I don't know if he's gonna get a 3rd, man. Yeah. You're not wrong though, he sucks, but I don't know if he's gonna get a 3rd buff. I would like it. Countess Lix is a good shout. I do think that she just lower her cooldowns and you're basically good to go. Like 5 turn is a bit rough. After booking is crazy. 4 turn here, like just make 3 turn, 4 turn here, 3 turn here. We're done. I mean, while you're there, maybe just take a fresh look at her stuff, but I think that's kind of it. You put Oltan twice? He's so bad. He needs 2 buffs. Brackus the Shifter. How's it going, Tansy? Yeah, I think Brackus. Where is he? He's Skinwalker. The thing I never understood about Brackus is you have a triple hitter A3, a sextuple hitter A2, and then your A1 hits once. And I'm just like, oh, this guy should be the multi-hit king, you know? This should be a quad hitter, you know, or something, you know, like it just like this guy should be like your Fire Knight DPS, like Krutraxa type. Maybe not that crazy, you know, with her abilities, but like He should be like another Kutraxa, mini Kutraxa in terms of like Fire Knight potential, and then just being annoying in Mercurial meta because he's hitting it. Everything is a multi-hit, so he's gonna just kill a lot of people. I could see him being like a redoing Brackus to be a Mercurial menace. Mini Kutraxa. And not, you know, because he's not Void, right? So he shouldn't be as nuts. Playing Raid, waiting to see a Spider-Man. Ooh, fun. I've been out of the MCU for a long time, since Endgame, basically. So, I do like the Spider-Man saga, though. So I probably won't go to theaters to see it, but I'm intrigued. Hegemon needs some help. I don't think you can fix Hegemon though. Not in the Mercurial meta. I think you fix Hegemon by fixing Mercurial. Or hot take. Deflection Hegemon. Huh? Are we cooking? As the kids say. 6-piece deflection Hegemon, bring him back. You go first and you instantly break 2 stacks. Or no, 3, all of them. Potentially. If you land both debuffs, you break all the stacks. You don't know about the rework to deflection? With the... Oh, let me scroll up. With the 6-piece, you deal bonus damage proportional to their own accuracy to enemies that block debuffs from the wearer, and this can remove total guard stacks. So as long as you... Like, 1 hit counts as removing a stack, but if your hit applies any debuffs that they block, then it will also remove a stack because it does bonus damage. And your accuracy number doesn't matter. It could be 1, right? But 1 is still an instance of damage. Obviously, it's I'm kind of being facetious tongue-in-cheek here, but like in theory, you could run a deflection set Hegemon, and it would just... You'd start the fight off and have a really high potential to break all their stacks off rip. Because you're going first. But I think they need to do more to add other such things that help counter Mercurial, because it's getting a little out of hand, like I knew it would. Did it go all in for the first Summon Rush? Sort of. I will not spoil what... the video's not out. I haven't even edited the video, but I did record it this morning. I did pull some shards. Ow. Crushed my hand. Nari and Grohawk. Yeah, Nari's been trash forever, huh? What's worse than a giant bubble? 2 giant bubbles? The thing is, though, I still think that Mercurial is a lot easier to use. A lot easier to counter. I think where it starts to fall apart is when the entire team is in 9-piece Mercurial. Then it becomes really difficult to deal with because there are so few champions that have AoE triple hitters in the game. That's where I think it starts to get out of hand. So like, I'd rather deal with a full team of Stone Skin than a full team of 9-piece Mercurial. But I would rather deal with a couple people in Mercurial than a couple people in Stone Skin. If that makes sense. Because if there's only one person in Mercurial, it's easy. You just hit them 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, that's not hard to do. But hitting everyone consistently 3 times / hit them once before you kill them, it just gets really tricky when, you know, with everyone going fast and just refreshing the stack, and then that's where it gets really tough. Versus the Stone Skin, at the very least, it's a one and done, right? Once you take your turn, it's gone forever. So there's a little bit of trade-offs there. So that's why I think that's kind of my hierarchy of annoyance. But yeah, if there's one dude in Mercurial, I'm like, yes. I win. I got you. I can hit you 3 times. Easy. Hitting everyone 3 times. Like, well, Marius was used on Team 1. I'm thinking like Tag Team Arena. It's like, I used Marius in Team 1. So... GG's? Like, oh, let me break out my Zargala and my Lua. Go for the AoE triple hitters. Like, I'm not freaking doing that. Do I have an opinion on Master Axer versus Sniper Marius A1? Well, I always have an opinion. What did I choose? Oh, I got both. Yeah, there you go. I got both. I was like, I don't know if I decided between the two, to be fair. Like, if you had to choose one, I'd probably go Master Hexer because the 2-turn Enfeeble is just devastating. Unless you have extra turns, which most champions don't. Yeah, I guess some people would probably go Kill Streak. Maybe. If they wanted to go double offense tree, but I think, you know, Methodical is really all you really need because, at least in my mind, Marius is meant to be, you know, spam the counterattack type stuff. Truoth? Is that a Dark Elf? I think Truoth is okay. I'm not saying the champion is good or useful, but like it's a cool interaction with the cooldown reduction, HP balance. Like it's a ridiculous amount of healing. You just don't. A champion like this never sees the light of day because there's very few areas of the game where you need to heal this much, which is probably a good thing if you think about it. Because I feel like, you know, our HP pools are so low that, like, if we had an area where you had to heal so much that you needed to reduce the cooldown of an HP balance repeatedly to survive, it would be a miserable experience, I would imagine. Ethos? I don't know, man. This is the Mercurial breaker right here, dude. Triple hitter AoE. You can't change that. I'm kidding. I don't know. He's outdated for sure. Yeah, I don't know if it's buff worthy though, but I do agree with Royal Huntsman though. Royal Huntsman is just old. Like, his kit just doesn't make any sense. Like, a champion like this, realistically, in my opinion, should not be a debuffer. At the same time, though, like, I don't want to, you know, remove AoE decrease defense from factions. But, like, given his stats are basically an epic in terms of defensiveness, like, he's just not the right champion. Like, he should just be a nuker who doesn't need any accuracy. And this is just single hitter. Yeah, fully ignore defense, but it's on a 5-turn cooldown with no book credit. Yeesh. Outdated. I don't think they should buff Euros to Soul Cage. I'm fine with him as he is. I don't think he should be super useful outside of where he is. Shamrock? Didn't they tweak him? I don't remember if they tweaked him or not. No, they haven't. I'd be keen to see a Shamrock buff. I don't know what they would do, but I'd be keen to see it, yeah. Nethril for sure does need a buff. Nethril is garbage. A Chigor buff? I don't really, he's not really, I don't think he's meant to be a PvP champion though, that's the thing. I think he's meant to be a PvE champion. I would love a Chigor. But I have a problem with Lizardmen DPS, Lizardmen faction DPS, and he would solve that because he brings AoE decreased defense on top of damage, on top of poison damage, on top of CC, which is in Void Affinity. So even as he is for PvE, I would love Chigor. Absolutely. I would take him in a heartbeat for sure. He used to be good, decent. No, I don't want to say good. He used to be decent for Sand Devil. But, you know, there's always a chance he doesn't do it, right? What is it, 80% chance to sleep? Or no, 75% chance. Yeah, which you're gonna miss a lot, so you could still easily wipe if he doesn't do it two or three times in a row. I think, you know, Sify and Harvest Jack kind of take the cake on Sand Devil, or else you just run a Neri and call it a day. I'm not saying that you need to use him, because it depends who you have on your roster. But I would use him in Faction Wars hard mode for sure, and just Faction Wars in general. I would just use him as a nuker. Like I said, he does like, he ticks 4 boxes in PvE content. He can CC with the passive A1 synergy. He has decreased defense, so he's your debuffer. He has poisons, which is also extra damage, and then he has a decent multipliers for raw damage. So like, for me, it was like, that's like everything. But I don't think he needs to do anything outside of that. I understand that people want Void Legendaries to do everything, but that's just not possible. Every champion can't be useful everywhere. Like, essentially I put him in the same camp as Sulfurion, because now that we're in the Mercurial meta, you don't really use Sulfurion in PvP anymore, right? But in PvE, he's a god, you know, for any burned applications you need, right? And so I put them in the same camp of like, they're not PvP or they're crept out of the meta, but they're really good in PvE, and that's just their niche. And they're both Void. So again, I don't think every Void Legendary needs to be good everywhere. I think that's just a ridiculously hard thing to do from a balancing standpoint. Just like Krisk, right? Maybe back in the day, right, Krisk was like a really PvE or PvP beast, but nowadays he's just PvE, right? And I don't think anyone's pining for a Krisk buff at this point. I hope not. That'd be crazy. It's already powerful as it is. Usually at this point is your focus solely on PvP Hydra, all the competitive spots. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just means that the pool of champions that are useful to you is smaller, which is guaranteed to happen no matter what you do. I think that's just the nature of playing the game longer term, right? If you want a newer experience, start a new account. Of refiguring out things without having all you have, but having all you have, you're gonna pull champions that just aren't gonna do anything. It's unavoidable, unfortunately. I mean, let's take a gander. Let's see who I have just sitting in the vault, right? Naked. My Shamrock's out here. My Bossum's here. My Trunda's here. Archbishop Pinthroy is here. Don't use him anymore. Akivon, how's it going? Noljua was a lot more she was worse than I thought. Noljua was way worse than I thought. Mavara was so much better. So I don't use Noljua anymore. Or don't use her. Got War Mama. I know people love Tholen. I don't use Tholen. I don't think he's bad. I just don't. I have a bunch of Hydra DPSs, so I don't need him. I think what's her face? Oh, I'm blanking hard on what her name is. Something. Oh, I'm usually good with names. Adolin. There we go. I didn't look. It came to me. Chronicle Adolin, absolute dog water. Gerda's pretty bad. Cassandra, never been a fan. I know some people like Pelops because of you can abuse him 9-piece Mercurial, but I think he's underwhelming. Valoran's a new guy. Skeletor is still trash after the buff. I hate Mikey. I know a lot of people love Mikey. I hate Mikey. But mainly that's his enemy because everyone throws him in the turtle teams. He takes 16 turns to die because he evades everything. I hate evasion though. Maybe that's more what I hate instead of Mikey. I think Mikey's okay. I just hate evasion. It's a stupid mechanic. But point being, I have a lot of champions that are just sitting here in the vault that are air quotes useful for other people, but they're not useful to me. Bambus after the buff, I think he's super solid. I'm never going to use him. Titus, that's more on principle though. Agaba's out here. Has Emek ever had a use since the Hydra taunt nerf? I think he's still technically in some speed tune Demon Lord stuff. Yeah, no, Iron Twins ignores unkillable now, so he's not useful there as much. I think some people still use him in Hydra as just kind of a cooldown reduction guy in some sort of comps, but yeah, I think they could honestly bring back the taunt controlling mischief thing, but they'd have to rebalance shields, which people wouldn't like, so I don't know. What? You see Nethril? I didn't see Nethril. Above Bambus? Oh shit, I didn't even see him. That's how bad it is. Okay. Oh my god, Beauregard the Elder. Oof. That guy needs a buff. What a, like, the most useless champion. One of the most useless champions. I know you love Nethril, man. A buff for Final where we don't have to manual her? That's not really a buff to her. That would be a buff to AI and how it operates. I don't use Fina? No, dude, I'm lazy. I have a rule that this game is meant to be played on auto, so I'm not gonna sit here and manual runs. This is a part-time job, it's not a full-time job. I'm not gonna manual runs every week. Clashes be damned. My army of Folies. Bear in mind though, guys, before you critique me here, a lot of these champions are the duplicates, so hence the faction guardians. So some of these I actually do use, but these are the ones that aren't used, the copies. Like Nethril is a dupe, but I don't use either of them. I forgot I have Septimus. When did I pull Septimus? Must have been years ago. I've heard he does like really good stuff now, but I don't know if I really need what he does. You enjoy gearing and forming teams, not playing the battles. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like no disrespect for the grinders out there. Like full respect if you want to sit out here and slave away on manual and try to get the best score possible. I was willing to do it for like the coalition event because it was temporary, but I'm not committing every week for the rest of my raid career to manual Hydra Chimera runs. CVA. Simple as. Alright. Enough yapping. I mean, well, we continue yapping, but I will work on my gear cleanse while we continue to discuss. Oof, no extra rewards this time. We got a 4-star chicken and epic tome, so I guess we're stopping at the 4775. No energy! Rip. That's sad. Okay, this is a really terrible gear enhancement. Fortunate. But I need the space. So let's clear out some garbage. Manually playing raid is like being married. You gotta push the right buttons at the right times or everything goes to shit. Can't relate. I'll take your word for it, man. Oh, I forgot I got this. Cause she's like 300 speed, which is a bit excessive. So I kind of want this. We drop 10 speed, which still brings her to, it still keeps her at 290, but we get extra res. Can we get a quad? No, we can't. Okay. Can you marry Sabrael? You'll even marry Warmother? I'm a little concerned for your well-being now that you say that. You feeling okay there, fam? How desperate are you? I'll take the 3. This is worthy of like a 6-star glyph, to be fair. Ooh, sweet. Okay. So 30, whoops. 30 res in exchange for 7 speed, worth. Yeah, 294, 624, good. Because I dropped her... Oh, 100k HP now. Wow, okay. Because I put her in... I finally got the gear I needed to build her the way I wanted to. So, 4-piece Chronophage, 4-piece Mercurial. So she can just tank a hit now. And then be ready to reset or cleanse or heal or whatever. Not heal, cleanse, revive, etc. So she can't be locked out off rip. Plus, a lot of Spirit Affinity lockouts mean they could weak hit, and then I could just instantly revive someone if they die. And then she still has her aspect. I'd still like long term to build my rebuild my Galathir in 4-piece Mercurial, 4-piece Relentless. But my Relentless gear is not up to snuff, and my Mercurial gear, if I can speak English, is not up to snuff yet either. But I did get this piece, which is close. But for Galathir, I kind of want this to be inverted. To be like double speed res across the board on all the pieces, or maybe even triple speed res if I can be greedy. But for her, I was like, you know what? She doesn't need to be super fast. She just needs to be fast enough-ish. And so I'm happy with this build for now. Although her Chronophage gear is pretty trash, because she has the second best gear. Because Donnie has the best gear. Got your first quint roll. Congrats! Quintuple speed on an accuracy banner. It's just a normal banner or one of the special sets? We already looked at Chaos, alright? Yeah, okay. I don't think I've gotten any Merciless lately. Slash is probably sitting in my inventory. Backlog. Oh, you know what we really need? We need more Chaos Ore. I wouldn't mind... I don't know if they would do it, but I wouldn't mind the next piece of content, or maybe not the full, like, not like a Grim Forest type expansion thing, but like the next mini piece of content, the next dungeon, if it just allowed you to farm Chaos Ore on a semi-regular basis. That would be really useful to me. I only have 2. Oh man. Oh, I thought we were gonna get a soul stone. Rip. Oh, dude, they're baiting me with the one away from what I was hoping for both times. I thought I had a stockpile of those. Apparently not. I must have burned it the other day. All right. No. Kill stroke. Double check. Okay, cool. Stone skin. Ooh, so close. I don't know. I think it would be a pain in the butt to have some sort of currency that you convert into Chaos Ore. So it'd probably be an occasional drop from a dungeon or something. I mean, honestly, if they just added it to hard mode dungeons or something like that, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Maybe not mythical, because I think that'd be a bit too powerful for like the whales and krakens, but just every once in a while, not as a replacement, but as an extra, you just get a random legendary Chaos Ore from hard mode dungeons. I'm down. Roll was on pinpoint. That's not bad. Accuracy pinpoint banner with quintuple speed. Is it 6-star too? 34 speed without a glyph. That is 6-star. Damn. Oh, Arcanites. That is a rip. Whew. Throw a giant dwarf blacksmith so you can beat him up and take his ore. Now you're thinking. I remember getting this actually. Oof. Chaos Ore to Demon Lord loot tables? Nah, that doesn't feel like the right place though. Ooh, I don't like where this is going. Nope. Nope. Okay. Like, obviously, I want it added to a loot table. But I don't think Demon Lord's the right one. Just because that's such early game content that, like, you don't have any gear to reroll yet. If you, by the time you're regularly farming Demon Lord, like, that's just not really the place. It should be in dungeons, because dungeons give you the gear that you want to use the Chaos Ore on. At least that's the earliest point in which you get the gear that you want to use the Chaos Ore on. And, you know, you could argue that they already give it to us from Doom Tower and Grim Forest and Curse City, so it exists in those places already. But it would be nice to be in an area that is outside of those and just like purely farmable, like dungeons. Double crit, but it's on the low side. Ah. I think I have, don't I have that exact thing? I do. What are the odds of that? It's literally, it was the exact same piece, same stats, but worse. Worse accuracy. I guess while I'm here, actually, the fragment summon guy, Kamir, Skuldine, my plan is actually to build him in a curing set, which might be odd for people to hear, but just because in my mind I'm imagining that he is predominantly going to be spamming his A1 and turn meter fill. If he just keeps healing everyone by 10% plus the 20%, it's just going to be a lot of healing. But that's a theory for now. Speed accuracy. Oop. Your Operdin's in a curing set? Don't actually have Operdin. He was a fusion during my hiatus. But I don't have him. I think I have my Godseeker and Neri in curing at the moment. She's not really used anywhere. So I'm definitely gonna steal whatever her gear applies to Kamir. But for the time being, she's holding on to my like high res good speed curing set. Have a good pieces turn garbage? Well, that's the thing. I don't think of it as a good piece until I roll it up. But that's just like a mental delineation thing. Otherwise, it's a potential piece when I get it, and then it's a good piece if it rolls correctly, versus it being a good piece that was ruined by rolling it up. Not so fast. Just got into streaming raid 2 weeks ago. What do you think is your top tip in growing? I mean, I'm not the biggest creator either, so I don't really know. But consistency is one of the most important things that I've heard about. Like if you always show up at a regular time, eventually people are going to catch on and see you. Interacting with other creators, so make sure that you're always rating other people, just so that they know your name, you know their name, you talk to them. And I think the most important thing is be entertaining. You know, have content that people actually want to watch, and that is purposefully subjective, because what is entertaining for you may or may not be entertaining for your viewers. So you either have it or you don't, unfortunately. But I think that's the part that a lot of people try to skip over, where it's just like, well, I'm doing the same thing they're doing. It's like, yeah, but you're not, because you're not as funny, or you're not as hilarious, or you're not as creative, or you're not as competitive, or, you know, whoever you're comparing yourself to. So it's like, you need to be entertaining, and that could be, you know, you're the most gifted tact shooter person, or you're really charismatic comedian. You don't know what the heck you're doing, which can also be entertaining sometimes. You know, it just depends. But that's like the core thing, and then a following should build if you get all those things in order. But I can't overemphasize the importance of luck as well. But yeah, the first step, you're already doing it, is like jumping in and seeing what happens. That's step one. But there's no surefire way to get to grow. You just have to keep at it and hope for the best. Have a loaded credit card? I don't know about that. Creatine. That would help you grow. Physically. Or so I've heard, at least. I don't know why I have, like... I prefer natural remedies. I know that creatine is not unnatural per se, but I just can't get behind supplements. Like, I want to just, like, eat food and then get the nutrients I need. But I'm also not trying to win, like, a bodybuilding competition or a strength competition, so I don't really need much of extra muscle building capacity. Oof, okay. We cleared out all of the important unleveled stuff, and we made 20 spaces. Which is not good. Alright, let's see. How far down are we? These are all accessories, right? Yeah, these are all accessories. Essentially, what needs to happen is the pinpoint dungeon needs to close. And then I can start whittling down the backlog of all these pinpoint accessories. And that will kind of put me back on the path towards normalcy. There we go. So these, this, that, here.
Slipping away, now looking for an escape. But the way that you look at me, I'm so lost that it's all I see. And those eyes are my therapy, takes me right out of the rain.
Alright, there's our 20 spaces. We're at 90 days where we were. Cause your face is my remedy, makes me forget all the pain. Speed crit. Nope, don't care. Speed crit. Nope. Speed res. Nope. Double accuracy. Ooh, actually got it. This is just a good helmet because they're hard. Oof, maybe not. Never mind. I thought I was gonna at least split. Accuracy or res. Or flat defense. Okay. This could be a solid piece. Triple speed. Oh. Oh, trash. This is like legitimately Kamir's chest. Boom. We got his chest. When I got this from, I think it's from Pinpoint, or the event dungeon, I was like, hey, that might work actually. I don't have an HP chest with speed res and curing. Just in time. Using Aerosol Helper to clear out your... He actually sold everything. Oh my god. Oh, that's tragic. That's not why I don't use those tools, but that would definitely be a fear of, like, overcommitting to the filter and not actually doing it proper, and then you just actually sell a bunch of gear. Yeah, that's not bad. Double crit with HP and stone skin. Attack percent with attack. Oh, Sag. You'd quit if I did. Yeah, dude. Selling everything that's unequipped. Whew. That's rough. I don't even know what it mean. I don't even know what it would mean to come back from that. Nah, just drifting all over the place. All right. But even that's like, but you know, I'm talking like, sure, you can, you know, you can focus on your savage gear and your speed gear, right? But like, I'm talking like, you know, if you lost all of like your niche stuff, like that one toxic set, you know, that you had, like, you're not going to farm dragon for toxic again, you know? It's like your provoke set's gone. Your reflex is gone, you know, all of this like niche stuff. It's like, good God. Oh, it was accessories? Okay, that's a little better. It's still painful because there's so many factions and whatnot now, but I'd rather have mistakenly deleted my accessories versus my artifacts. Because like, that was just, oh man, that'd be so brutal. All my lethal gear, dude. If I lost all my lethal gear, I'd be crying. Alright. 96. Rebuilding now? Yeah, good luck, man. That's devastating. Oh, come on, man. You put stone skin on your unascended UDK? Thank you, Madam Saris. Bruh. My dude just got a bunch of champions and he's like, what do I do for UDK? Oh, I put him in stone skin. How about you build him entirely first, man? What are you doing? Oh my God. Spider's Den should rotate the faction group for accessories daily. That'd be interesting. Yeah, every day it's a boosted... It's a 2x every day across every faction. It wouldn't line up as well because there's 16 factions plus in 14 days, or you know, I guess it's not a multiple of 7, but that's an interesting idea. Where are we at? 3,000? Okay. I guess I really shouldn't be complaining about all these pieces that roll poorly and we get to sell because I need the space. But it's hard to not root for good pieces, right? That's the whole point of rolling up gear. Ooh, double speed. Triple speed? Ooh. Don't like that. Alright, support merciless. Speed accuracy. Nice. Double speed accuracy. Nice. Support merciless. Speed res. Nice. Double speed res. Nope. 6-star, that's a reroll. This basically has to triple res or it gets sold. Nope. Speed res. Ooh, okay. Double speed res. Ugh. Nope. Oh, you're saying the groups of factions. Okay, I mean, that's more fair. That would be a lot more often as well. So actually, now that I started foraging deflection gear, I actually have run out of Magisteel. Which I didn't think I would actually ever do, but it is now a supply constraint. Yeah, I didn't even look at it because I was just like, oh yeah, deflection's good now. Let me make some pieces. And then I'm like, where'd all my Magisteel go? And I'm like, oh, these are 50. I had no idea because I'd never made deflection or swift parry, and I was like, I didn't know that it was this expensive. Holy moly. Oh, the only drops from that faction. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think they would ever do restrictive. I think they only do additive. So it'd only be like a 2x boosted race or something. Just because you have to think about it, right? Where that means that you could be on a streak where like, I really need orc accessories, and the day I need to farm spider, it's not there, and that would be really devastating for the players, I would imagine. I could be wrong, but I think they, in aggregate, I don't think people would really enjoy that. Just like that. Am I ignoring the upcoming path? I don't know. I'll have to look at it. This is not sustainable. we have four spaces. I need more room. The problem is, the only way I can make room at this point is by leveling stuff from 12 to 16. And if I do that, then I am going to run through the gear enhancement super quickly. I don't know why I kept that piece. I don't need this either. So I need 1,000 points. So I want to go to something like here. Like these are identical. Speed crit. Here's speed crit. I don't need this one. Triple crit, double speed crit, it's a helmet, double speed res. Double speed crit, triple crit. Damn it, accuracy. I was hoping it didn't. This one's on the edge. Yeah, I knew it was gonna full split. Double speed accuracy, double res speed, double crit, speed accuracy. Got 6 stars, so I need the 5-star. Same rule. Double speed res. This is not what we're looking for. Double res speed, but that one is higher stats, so let's see if this one rolls. This one is now worse. Yes. Double speed accuracy, double speed crit. This is a full split. Yes. Alright, let's double check. 5K. Yeah, damn, overshot. Rip. That ended so quickly. Like, I do need to do that because I have a bunch of stuff sitting at 12. But these gear enhancements, they max out so fast when you do that. At some point, I might just have to bite the bullet and just spend a day just burning through silver just because and just leveling up a bunch of crap. Actually, you know what? They've gone away from it, which I don't like. But they used to do, I'm sure some of you remember, they used to do in Heroes Paths. It used to be some of them were gear enhancement, so you could level up a bunch of gear, get a bunch of points, and that would be a way to get, you know, a champion or get rewards rather. And they don't do that anymore. It's always dungeon divers and something else. I wish they would bring back the heroes paths that were gear cleanses. I would happily throw a bunch of silver into that, but maybe not everyone has the ability to do that. But for me, it's 500 million silver. I don't need 500 million silver. So I would be happy to just be like, oh, guaranteed champion. I just need to spend 100 million silver on a bunch of gear and level it up. Bet. I would do that in a heartbeat, but they won't do that probably. But yeah, the path, it seems interesting. It depends what the cost is, right? I'll take a look at it tomorrow for sure. That'll be free-to-play review for the Fallen Path event. I don't have Riot, so I don't give a shit about her soul. I'm intrigued by the Sacred. Souls for Sacreds. Not a terrible trade either. But yeah, if I can get the Covetous Passion, I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's the most useful relic, but it's a mythical relic, so, you know, I'm not going to complain. I don't know who I would run this on, though, is kind of the problem. How many mortals? I have like 400, 500. It's a 2x across the board. Oh no, just mortals. I don't know. I don't think I'm golden, dude. I think it depends. Mortals are very, very weak. They're like 10 points a pop or something. Or maybe, sorry, 100 points a pop in these. Oh, hold on. Is that true? Yeah, they're usually 100. Which is worse than an Ancient Shard. So let's just say, like, if oh yeah, of course they're worse on decks, but the decks are capped at 40,000 points. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's simple math. If the relic costs 50,000 points, I would have to burn every single mortal just to get the relic, which I probably wouldn't do. I mean, you know, I'd mix in other types. But I'm intrigued. Let me put it that way. But if I can get the relic for like 300, I'm probably sold. So we'll see. What's up, Brian? How's it going, man? Run some Fire Knight real quick, and then we'll hop into Grim Forest. Going pretty good. I'm doing well. We were talking about it earlier, but I'm officially an Elden Lord now, because I beat the main story of Elden Ring last night. So I'm not done with the game, but I finished the primary story, which is satisfying. Very, very tough. How many mythic relics do I have? I have 3 as of last week, and they are all 3. What is it called? Hallowed Hilts. I have 3 Hallowed Hilts. What was the final death count? For beating, again, there's still more to do. There's still more bosses that are not main story importance, but it was 1,110. Yeah, 1110. Which is a lot. So many deaths to gravity.
That's quite big. Impressive.
Indeed. Yeah, so many deaths to gravity, so many deaths to I don't know where I'm going, so many deaths to I don't know how to fight this boss. So it's to be expected for the first playthrough, going in cold, more or less, not knowing what to do. You're gonna die. So also first Souls game ever. You have 11? I do not trust the rates enough to care about the small niche of people, or the small minority of people that happen to get lucky with the few amount of relics they pulled. If it was a higher rate than 1 in 5, maybe. Or if it wasn't always like shards for relic mats, then I might be intrigued. But I don't like exchanging my resources for a chance at something else when it comes to shards. That's just a personal preference. I prefer my shards to guarantee me some value, not give me the potential to get some value. Obviously, eventually it has to pay off at some point, but it just, to me, it feels so rough to be like, all right, I just dropped 10 sacreds and we got an aspect to Siroth. And it's like, bruh, I could have got that for free from Chimera. You know what I mean? It's just like, it just feels bad. Like, the feels bad outweighs the potential feels good. Therefore, I don't do it. But that's just my playstyle. I look at the worst possible outcome and decide if I can tolerate the worst possible outcome, not the best possible outcome. And that's what dictates my choices. Never played him with the Towards the Dunk game. Honestly, dude, Elden Ring is hella fun. But like, it's the type of game that I would like. It's tough for sure, but it's the type of game that I kind of enjoy, where it's like you just kind of keep grinding at it, and eventually you'll figure out something, or you'll just get it done. Like, to me, it's just like, it's a mindset thing of like, you just don't give in, you don't quit. But I can definitely see, why people would forfeit at some point. But at the same time, though, it's set up in a way, because it's relatively open world, that if you're really struggling, You can go away, go farm some levels, come back, and you'll just be stronger. And it'll make the fight a little bit easier. Versus, I think the classic Souls games are a lot more linear. So, like, if you can't beat the thing, you can't move on. So, like, you learn this boss and you beat it, or you're not going anywhere. Like, that's a little more brutal. Versus Elden Ring, it's like, alright, I can't beat this now. I'm gonna go do something else for 20 minutes or an hour and come back. Or come back in a week, or come back in a few days, or whatever. Yo, yo, what's up? I actually finished up the champion training tournament yesterday because I just hit the ground running with that. So I basically can just chill for the midpoint of the fusion. Because I'll finish Fire Knight probably either tonight or like tomorrow morning. And then I can run a little bit of the event dungeon before it closes. Man. So when your champion training popped 30,000 points in the first day. God damn. Well, so based on what happened in my clan, because we actually won our first PR CVC in like a year, it feels like. I don't know how long it's actually been. But apparently there was an overlap of like 1 hour of CVC with the champion training, and so there was a lot of people who waited until that last hour to like book all their champions and throw a bunch of brews in stuff. So that's probably one of those guys who was like wrapping over CVC, crossing over the end of CVC with the tournament, so they just went ham in the first hour. Considering that overlap for me was at like 2 a.m., I did not do that. But I heard about it. Which makes me, I think it is relatively rare for champion training to overlap with CVC. Or at least the champion training tournament specifically. Because obviously for, what the heck? Wow. Okay, I guess we got hella resisted or something. I haven't seen the Fire Knight take a turn in like a year and a half. Weird. Okay, whatever. I mean, it's not catastrophic, so who cares, but nonetheless. You got matched with SP, or one of the SP clusters? Oof, that's rough. I mean, like, we don't usually, you know, like I've described before, like, our clan cluster is, like, self-declared hardcore casuals. So, you know, if there's a fight that's winnable, we'll definitely push a little harder and try to fight it. But if we go up against some whale clan that comes out on the first day of CVC and has 5 million points, we're just gonna be like, alright, GG's. Because literally what happened for like the past few months when I'm talking about like we haven't won a PR CVC in forever, it's like, it would literally be us at like, you know, 5 million, and then the enemy is at like 20. So like we were never like on the same level at all. Like we're not a 10 million CVC clan, because we don't. Some people spend money, but most of our players don't. So yeah, I would be super bummed if we went up against like SP or Omega or Mad or any one of these people, but those are way higher than we are. Savage Pandas? It's still the same, it's the same cluster, it's still SP. That's just the name that they chose to be the related. So it's not, you didn't go against SP main, you just went against one of the mini pandas. But I believe it's still the same clan cluster. Still SP. I do use Mezamel every day. Love me some Mezamel. You know what I found really odd? That a lot of people are talking about another IP collab or whatever. And I'm like, the web of corruption's not even over yet, guys. Why are we talking about the next thing? We're literally in the middle of a collab. I mean, I guess it's not an IP collab, but like, I don't think the next event's gonna be until after the event dungeon closes and the web of corruption ends. No, I don't know. But I guess people they got all 4 champions. And they're like, all right, we're done. Next thing, please. Do you think Osgren can replace Lonathero on this team? Absolutely. Lonathero is not special. He's just an ally attacker. I don't have that many, so he is just one of the ones that I have built who's the right speed, so I put him in the team. Arguably, Mikage is not really needed either. Like, this could be 2 Farrakins for all it is, you know? Yeah, I think, I mean, you know, it's one of those things, right, where people give and this is my opinion, people give way too much credit to a content creator's big, like, first impressions of a champion, and then that's the opinion they hold for the rest of their raid career, and they don't independently think for themselves a lot of the times. And so you have that problem where everyone said Mezamel sucks, so everyone thinks Mezamel sucks. When she's not terrible. But yeah, she's not Siegfried. Fair enough. Right? She's not Gallius. She's not Marius. You know, she's not... I guess Marius not a mythical. But you get the idea. Like, sure, she's not one of those guys. But in her own right, there's... like, to your point, there are so many times where there's like a Lady Noelle Sir Nick comp, or a Hilby comp, or you know, Theodosia, like all these people are like, aha, I have unkillable, and I'm like, cool, change forms, AoE, and everyone dies. It's like, yeah, dude. I ignore that shit. Or they aren't ready for me to just block revive on their nuker, and then the fight's over because I banned the other nuker. That being said, I do think there are some champions who are objectively bad. But I think people need to be better at forming their own opinions versus just taking what one person says at the very beginning on the test server and being like, yep, they suck. 1 star everywhere. Like, okay. She doesn't suck, but any other mythical would be better. I disagree. But I think there's definitely some that are worse than her. But point taken. People expect a lot from mythicals. They really do. Which I always find fascinating. Because you have people that are like, oh my god, this mythical sucks. And then they're like, also, oh my god, this mythical is overpowered. Like, well, which one do you want, man? People want the overpowered mythicals when they have them, but they don't want to go against them when the enemies have them. That's what people want. Which is impossible, obviously. But nonetheless, it amuses me to no end. I'm always amused when people have these oxymoronic takes that are just like diametrically opposed. It's like, okay, so then you literally signed yourself up to be unhappy. Self-inflicted unhappiness because your standard is impossible to meet. What's up, Luke? Chess ever consciously, they suck in PvP, so I rate them 0 everywhere. Exactly. Also, they need to, they being Plarium, they really do need to do like a wipe of the test server and get rid of all of the inactive former content creators and whatnot that just have defenses that aren't real or practical. Or I don't know, they need to do something to address that because they really can't do a proper showcase because half the teams aren't real. Therefore, you don't get a realistic idea of what they're actually capable of doing, which is a shame because it's part of the purpose of the test server is to actually show things, and they can't show things. Really disappointing. Actually, before we get into Grim Forest, let me double check where we are here. Got this 100k, nice. What's up, Zara? Give her a better survivability mechanic than revive on death. I mean, again, I hear that take a lot, but I don't want every nuker to be annoying to kill, you know? I like actual glass cannons sometimes. Like, I personally think that there should be high risk, high reward champions. And Mezamel fits that bill. We're like, I can block revive, but I will fall over if you breathe on me. I don't want more Siegfrieds where it's like, this guy will murder your entire team, and also you can't kill him. So then he's gonna murder your entire team. And it's just like, well, that's stupid. I don't like, that's too much. If you're gonna be a glass cannon, you need to be glass. What's the point of a platinum cannon or a diamond? You know, it's just, I don't know. So that's me. I disagree with that, but that is my personal take. I'm not a fan of everyone needs a survivability mechanic. Also, it just becomes really monotonous. But with a capital B, if I could exchange every nuker to have survivability for getting rid of Stone Skin and Mercurial, now we're talking. Make her immune to Enfeeble? That'd be interesting. Granted, Enfeeble is pretty rare. If you really wanted to push your limit, make her base form A2 a triple hitter. Which is overkill in most cases. Or like who's a good example? Who has this type of mechanic? Where they repeat the attack if they kill somebody on a random target. Who am I thinking of? Quilcha, I think. Yeah, I think it might be too powerful, but Mezamel with this caveat if you kill the initial target, repeats the attack on some random enemy. It could, well, I don't know what the condition needs to be, but just repeats the attack. I think that would make, because then she could kill 2 people. And perma block revive. That might be too strong. I don't know. But I think that'd be quite interesting. I'm also biased because I have her. Even then, I still think people probably wouldn't play her, and I would be fine with that because I would just enjoy her in that state, and I could just dump her on people as needed. Yeah, ignoring passives. We probably need more like Narcisse type champions as well, because there are a lot of broken passives in the game. Oh, I think someone mentioned earlier, ally attack for Fire Knight. Yeah, Grand Oak is definitely best in class for Fire Knight if you have him. I do not. But yes, agreed. People ban her. I don't run her usually, just because making her, it's always hard. It's hard to set her up, but that's just my lack of champions. With my lack of speed champions who are supports that have increased attack, I don't have a lot of those champions aside from Arbiter, especially ones with revives. So if I had a Raglan, then I'd probably run Mezamel more, because I know that as squishy as Mezamel is, I could pick her up with a Raglan who is immune to lockout or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Our base, right? Like, I have Yoshi, who's mini our base, and he works, but he doesn't have a revive, right? So it's like, if I run him in Galathyr and they ban, like, I run Fabian, Yoshi, Galathyr, and they ban Galathyr, then I don't have a reviver. So it's like, all right, I better kill him, or, you know, we die and we lose, which usually the latter happens, because they have, you know, some broken champions on their team. So it's risky. But yeah, if I had an Arbias where I could at least change forms and, you know, taunt for a bit, just draw aggro or revive on death, stuff like that. Not using Mavara. So Mavara's, the thing is, Mavara herself is actually really not that powerful. That might be a hot take. She is one of the many champions whose kit gets supercharged by 9-piece Mercurial. And so because I run her in PvE 9-piece protection, and I refuse to use 9-piece Mercurial because it's stupid, she's not as useful in general to me. Because the utility of Mavara and 9-piece Mercurial is that she veils everyone else, and she's unkillable. So unless you have AoEs, you have to attack her. She cannot die unless you can ignore unkillable. And then the rest of the champions on the team kill you. So her power level is directly tied to Mercurial also just eating a hit when you do try to kill her. It's not that she wouldn't be useful without Mercurial, but she's a lot more useful with it, because it's just very annoying to draw aggro to a Mercurial target. But again, she doesn't solve the problem, right? She doesn't have increased attack. She's a great support. But my problem is I don't, in terms of using my Mezamel more often, I need a Lazarius Raglan type champion. Terminator fill, increased attack with some sort of revival survivability mechanic or preservation mechanic, and I just don't have one. Arbiter is okay, but she's just not strong enough in the current meta. You know, lockouts are everywhere, and like if you don't go first with Arbiter, she's pretty much useless. Versus, you know, Lazarius, Arbase, these type of champions, they can change forms, they can do other things. They're not just one and done. And then Raglan, of course, she's immune to lockout, right? So that's the utility there. So I would use more champions if I had more variety. Which Let's do this. All that said, though, I do plan, regardless of the fact that I'm going to keep her in her protection build, now that I have Varkos, I will probably start using Mavara more just to take advantage of their synergy together. So we'll see what comes of that. Excuse me. But my Varkos isn't fully mastered yet, so I'm not fully deploying him because I don't have Helm Smasher, which is important. Why would you A1, Queen Ava? You have a block revive. Come on now, sis. Oh, now you use it? You hating on my Gruckus, bro? I'm kidding. No, he's good night. He is here reduction. It was actually a lot closer than it I feel like it should have been. Oh no, damn it, I have a defense ring for Varkos already. Boo! I need it. My Varkos is in 3-piece Mercurial at the moment, and then Savage. I need a 4th piece. I need an accessory. I need a banner or amulet. I don't have one yet, which is fortunate. Ooh. Aww. Well, if it doubles res. Okay, I'll check that. That might be Ancora. I mean, technically Galathir does need a banner in Mercurial long term, but I don't know if 5-star is going to be enough stats. Full split so I don't have to decide. Thank you. Nice. Okay. Because oh, she has Chronophage. Right. I don't think I have a Chronophage weapon. To spare. I do have a Chronophage weapon. One to spare. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I know I'm blocking it, but you guys don't need to see those stats. But yeah, okay, that's good. So if I do happen to pull more if I do happen to get more Chronophage that I can use to upgrade RP gear, then I have the option to swap the amulet to Mercurial because we have HP double res with flat defense, so it's a good alternative. And Core is still usable in PvP in this meta. I think anyone is usable in any meta, right? It just depends who you have on your account. I've seen many Ancoras in 9-piece Mercurial. I think people focus a little bit too much on what meta is versus what champions they have. Not to say that you're fall into this category, but like, I don't really care about Solinar because I don't have him. You have to deal with him sometimes, but like, you know, I don't have the guy, so I don't really care. Right? So it's like, it doesn't matter that the meta is moving around him because I don't have him, so I can't make uses of him. So it's like, is Ancora bad? Depends who you have, right? If she's your only option, then she's great, right? If you have a bunch of other similar type champions, then yeah, she's worse. So like, my point is it's relative. Because there are people that say, oh my god, Sify sucks because of Supersonic. Sure. I still run her. I run a lot. I run her knowingly into Supersonic sometimes because she's just good. But like, I don't have the luxury of like, oh, well, I'm just not going to use my Void Legendary. I'm just going to use my Mythical. It's like, well, no, I only have the one, so I'm going to use her. Because I don't have 10 options. I have 2. Like, it's either her or Galathier for the speed boosting reviver with block debuffs, right? Like, I don't have, you know, it's just like, that's why I think people get a little bit, like I said earlier, the people get influenced a little bit too much by all the people that have a bunch of champions that have a lot of variety, that have the ability to make these swaps. Are you coming back, Uber? The triumphant return, the prodigal son? Maybe? Not convinced. Exactly, yeah. Supersonic is kind of going by the wayside because everyone's running Mercurial and then people are just going all at speed Fabians. But or speed lockouts. I still have Supersonic, personally. But I did get rid of the pinpoint though, just because polymorph is a lot less prevalent. So my Fabian's pushing 400, not quite there. Actually, that reminds me. Since we won CVC, I finally got some clan relics. So can we hit the 4% chance and finally get a temporal stagnator? Eh? Oh, okay. Oh, I guess while we're here, why don't we just get our covetous passion right now, right? And skip the event tomorrow, yeah? 1 in 5 chance? Oh, it's legendary. Oh, no. Sweet, another chicken. And this is why I don't farm relic materials. Is it confirmation bias? Absolutely. What is this? That's annoying. You think Wither needs a buff? Wither's fine. Her one job is to heal. What more do you want from Wither, man? Interesting, Donnie. Okay. He reset the predator who has not taken a turn. And then he cleansed when we did. Okay. You know what? Whatever. This is his defense. Ah, that's unfortunate. We didn't get the turn meter still.
Warning. The forthcoming content contains vivid, flashing images that may induce discomfort for photosensitive individuals. For any grievances, concerns, or matters necessitating managerial attention, we respectfully request that you communicate by sending a swift "fuck you" as a direct message to I have no manas on Instagram. We value and consider all feedback. Viewer discretion is advised. And please, enjoy irresponsibly.
Change rate 2 to increase all buff duration on allies and activate all continuous heals. On as well as place increased defense, or in exchange? Because I feel like at least personally, if you're tweaking one aspect of one ability, that's not the highest priority for a buff. Because I want the buffs to be on like the worst of the worst, where you're really like fixing a bad champion, versus like a good champion who's okay, then you make them slightly better. I don't think we're at the level where that's with the champions that are at the top of the list. Fix Frolny again? I don't think they can fix Frolny, dude, unless they just completely rework his kit from the ground up. We should have the Stardust mission permanently because you never get Stardust. Stop spending it, bro. What do you mean? Quit swapping relics. I say that tongue-in-cheek, but I do find it funny where people will create their own strategy that is inefficient and then get mad at Plarium for their own inefficiency. Which to me, I always found that fascinating. It's the same thing, the same argument about like silver. People were like, oh my god, I'm losing all my silver because I keep swapping gear. And it's like, well, stop swapping gear, dude. Like, for me, it's like they're not mutually exclusive. I think you can advocate for free gear swapping, but also say, hey, maybe I should stop doing it because I'm wasting all my silver gear swapping. But to me, it seems weird to be like, I'm going to do it wrong, and you need to fix it. And I'm going to complain until you fix it. And it's like, well... Like, you're just gonna hurt yourself the entire time until they fix it? Alright. That's a strategy, I guess. That might be a hot take, but I always found that weird. Frony will be getting buffed once a year. Yeah. What is what guy? Oh, wait, you're not... You know, you've been gone so long, you don't even know what Grim Forest is? Wait. Oh my gosh. It's basically Cursed City 2.0. Except that instead of it being restricted by like factions and categories, you're restricted in champion selection. So you have a deck of champions that you choose, so you get to use your best of the best, and you randomly get to pull from that pool of champions that you picked for each stage. Which translates to a much easier experience for the average player, because you just get to, you put your best champions in the deck and you clear what you can. Versus the Cursed City where it's like, I don't have champions for this. See you next month. Easy and hard. Yep. This is easy or normal mode, which is why we're just sprinting through. But yeah, no, new bosses. There are four new bosses and a big bad boss that aren't really that difficult. It drops gear itself. The gear set that we've been discussing, Mercurial gear. Which I don't have the energy to try and explain exactly how that works. Oh, Whisper. Whisper with the one shot. Sheesh. Okay. How fast do you think a new account will start clearing Faction Wars hard 20 to 21? Dude, that's an impossible question to answer. It depends which champions from which faction did you pull. You know? Oh wait, does he have temporal chains? Oh, he does have 6. Oh, that's actually funny. Is Titus still meta? Yes. Sadly. But he might not be for Chimera. TBD. Because, like, the thing is, Delk, about a new account, you're not going to be fast enough to deal with stage 20 and 21 for a while. Like, the champions are like 300 speed, and you're not going to be 300 speed for many, many months. So you're going to get lapped like crazy and just bodied. And that's assuming that we're talking about a faction where you can actually get past stage 14, which is a huge bottleneck for a lot of people, especially early on. So also, in order to do hard mode, you have to have Lydia by definition. So you're already time locked by like a year, 6 months before you could even think about doing anything in hard mode. And then you have to have the right champions and the right faction that are a little bit easier. Like, if you're trying to push in, like, Lizardmen, good luck, you know? But if you're trying to push in, like, Dwarves, and you have Hilby or something, then you're probably in better shape. Did I complete it? Absolutely not. Not even close. It's impossible. I don't mean in general, I just mean, like, for me, it is literally impossible. It is not possible for me to beat hard mode Faction Wars. As in, like, there are trials that I literally do not have the champions to do. Where it's like, you know, a good example is like, what is it, Sacred Order? You need to, like, get kills with ally attack and counterattacks, and I don't have Martyr. And I can't be asked to try to build, like, Lady Atessa to try and get kills with Fanax or some shit. Yeah, the no weak hit one is just brutal. That is true. Getting Liddy is easier with gear for free gear swapping. Good point. But that's not going to help you with hard mode faction wars, I don't think. Unless you just completely abuse Stone Skin and Mercurial, and your champion just can't die, and you just tank a bunch of hits, and you have the enemy waste their abilities. Maybe you can kind of RNG your way through hard mode if you just swap a bunch of good Mercurial and good Stone Skin gear. But even then, again, it's going to take you time to get that, because that means you need to be farming Hydra regularly enough to have good Stone Skin gear to swap around. So, like, you're not going to have good Hydra teams because... You're not going to have great Hydra teams a year into the game because you're not going to have the champions for Hydra. So, I just think it's all... Hard mode faction wars, making progress, you're still talking, like, 2 years in. Just because of all the other prerequisites. You need time to farm good gear, you need time to get good champions, they have to be the right champions in the right factions, you need some sort of CC, you need some nukers, yeah, ideally you need debuffers, you know. And if you're a year in, I just don't think you're gonna have the diversity to really make it work. Given the difficulty of the stages, like, you're gonna get stuck on Jingwans, you're gonna get stuck on the Elvas, you're gonna get stuck on the Nells, the Ancora Narcies, the Mikage, Tetsuyas. Like, it's just, there's so many difficult, painful stages. The HP swapping boss, good fucking luck, you know? You did it with Lady Atessa? Dude, respect. My logic around that is that, like, if the last thing I needed to do was Sacred Order, Ally Attack Trial, alright, I'm building Lady Atessa just to get it done. But that is one of, like, 40 trials that I can't do, so I don't care. Like, you know, it's a drop in the bucket. I'd rather wait and see if I pull Martyr, just to not have to build an epic that I don't really need to build, because that's not the last thing in my way. And like we said, the don't weak hit part is the biggest bottleneck for me anyways. I guess this is a bad day to show because these are done. But I have fully starred three factions. Knights Rev, Dwarves, and Undeads. Shadowkin, it's literally don't weak hit and what's the other one? I don't remember. It might be stage 21. I just didn't do it fast enough, maybe. No, but I have like Ninja Mikage and Harima. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I forgot what the other one was. There's another trial I didn't do, but I did beat the boss. Stage 21. Your hardest stage is 18 in Orcs. I don't even think I'm that high in Orcs. So my Lizardman was my weakest. And then I finally built up an Axia after getting her like last month or whatever. And I instantly moved up 3 stages. Because regardless of how slow the runs were, I could just provoke and keep them provoked for long enough with her on her own mostly. And that bought me the time that I could actually kill the waves and get through things. Because I was hard stuck in Lizardman for the longest time because I had no control, I had no CC. I'm excited for Ogren Tribes once we get the current Fragment Summon, just to see if I can push a bit there. But Orcs, I need help. I thought it was funny that in the champion buff thing, they talked about the Orcs need some love, and they do. But the Danak buff is okay, but it's not helpful for like faction wars. I still don't understand how in this entire faction, okay, There are 2 champions in the entirety of Orcs that have block debuffs. Void Legendary Warlord and Void Legendary Raka. What are we doing? No, it's fine. Why don't we look for the epic who can cleanse off debuffs? Oh. No cleansers. We have no cleansers, no block debuffs across all the epics in a single faction. That's insane to me. Void or non-void? What's going on here? It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, you get CC'd, it's over. Like the only reason my orcs are that high is because I have Angar, and I have the potential after the buff he has 2-turn provoke chance. That's it. That's the only reason I progressed. Without him, I'd be stuck somewhere super low. Crocat Packmaster are great for damage, but you need something else to keep the team running, and that's where I'm struggling for sure. I hate Tagore. I know people love Tagore, but I'm not a fan of Tagore. His revive is so weak, and it's the ridiculously long cooldown. I have so Iron Brago. The problem with him is that it's not 100% chance. But yes, he can do the AoE provoke, and then the single target stun. It can work, but you know, when we're talking about these waves, then you also have, there's a lot of Elvas and shit, right? And then like you weak hit Elva, and it's over. You know, the run's over because you weak hit her, you didn't provoke her, she cleanses, and they wipe you or whatever. Again, I'm talking at the higher stages as you push higher. So it's just like there's so much BS that happens that it's so tough. Orcs is really hard. So, as happy as I am that our new boy exists, this is great. We need him. Ogren Tribes needs him because, as I talked about in my fusion guide, our only reviver was Gear Grinder. This is bad. So now we have a legendary reviver, which is great. So no complaints. But I need this over here. You have Raka, we didn't have Angar. Yeah, to your point, Uber, like Raka's not bad. She's just awkward on auto. But if you manual with her, which you typically do when you're going for trials and hard mode faction wars, she's great. Because you get a full cleanse and a shield, and then if no one's gonna die, then you can just put block debuffs up and prepare for it. Or you can just save it, you know, save it for when people actually do die. And a great speed array. But yeah, on auto, yeah, she's not that great. But on manual, she's amazing. This guy's a reviver too, right? Fortune cooldown, AoE revive on death. It's not terrible, but he's also new. Her passive is decent return meter. True. Yeah. Crowbar for the win. Spam A1 and Merciless or Relentless. Crowbar. Oh, you're just like stunning people? Yeah, 50-50. That's pretty funny, actually. Never thought to do that, but that's an interesting interesting thought.
What words will you keep? The ones that cause us harm. You assume the worst, but that is yet to come. Because you caused it first, and now we've come undone. Caught up in trying to find a problem.
What are they talking about? Oh yeah, Faction Wars. But yeah, that's... Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I guess Bannerlords is my worst faction, actually. Numerically speaking. I think, like, my Lizardmen and my Orcs are further along because they've done more stages, but they've done less trials, like the density is lower. But Bannerlords, I just can't... I literally cannot survive S14. Because I don't know about you guys and who you might have. I mean, Sathali's new, so that might, maybe that would change things. But essentially, my only support, like reviver, is Kaja. Well, not only, but she. The problem is, it's the HP swap boss. So when he does the swap, everyone's low health. Kaja can only heal herself on the A1, and it's pretty minuscule. So she dies, and when she dies, everyone dies, right? And then, like, same thing with Ursula. She doesn't heal at all. So when he swaps the HP and she's low and she dies, everyone dies. So it's like, I don't even care about trying to do it in X amount of time. It's like, I literally cannot survive the HP swap with the boss because my supports are not strong enough to survive and heal themselves and or heal everyone. And I've run Ursula in a regen, it wasn't enough. I've run Kaja in a regen, it wasn't enough. Because it's just... The HP swap is just brutal. I think only like Marichka and Raglan would actually allow me to progress, which is really sad. But again, maybe Sathalia spot heal could do something there, but then that's like a wasted slot on the team for the healer to heal my reviver, which is not what you want. If you ever want to beat like the speed trial, so I don't know. But yeah, numerically, that's the one that's the most behind. But like, my champion diversity in Bannerlords is great, so that like, I've done basically 3-star across the board, aside from maybe like 1 or 2 stages. Use Manaya. Oh, you mean from the token trader? I guess technically, yeah. I'm not developed enough though to burn extra copies for champions like that, especially for Manaya. But that's a good shout. Yeah, she would be a healer. And after the buff, she has block debuffs, right? Although he would flip the block debuffs into block buffs most of the time, but the shield would be nice. Don't really need this. Yeah, but her A1, you'd constantly be putting hero reduction on your team as well. I love her swords, the rapier and the dagger. Yeah, I'm still working on my faction guardians. I'm like, I got 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 here, 9, 8, 6, 8, 5, 2, I mean 0, but I don't count organized because they're new. Sylvan Watch is still kind of new too, to be fair. But like, I'm not at the point where I'm like, yep, I don't need spare copies of these guys so I can put them in the token trader. And again, like I said, there are so many trials that I can't do yet that I'm just like, meh. I'm not that desperate where I'm like, all right, sacrifice my 4 Heliors to get a Manaya so I can beat this one stage and get Polara. It's not, I'm not that close. Plus, they've talked about they're going to nerf something in Hardbound Faction Wars. So I'm keen to see what that's going to be before I start reacting. Not really in a live arena mood today. What the heck? I swear at this point people just are they gear their champions on autopilot. What the hell is the purpose of a 9-piece Mercurial Shuzen? What are we doing, folks? Like, you have so much gear that you have a full set for Shuzen, and she's not, like... I can't with people. I cannot. I respect the people who put some thought into it. I don't respect the people who just heard someone say Mercurial is overpowered, so they put every single champion on their account in Mercurial just because people said it's overpowered. That just irks me to no end, where it's just so thoughtless. I think the other day I saw like a 9-piece Mercurial Fabian, and I'm just like, what are you doing? In what world? Because a 9-piece Mercurial Fabian means that you're sacrificing speed gear to be in Mercurial, which means you're gonna get locked out yourself. Like, what? Unless you have all quad rolls on every single piece on your Mercurial, and you have the most broken Fabian we've never seen. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, although I kind of already am. Alright, folks, I think we're gonna call it for the day. I am hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some lunch. But yeah, I won't spoil it. But I did pull some sacreds for the Summon Rush, so a video coming out later today. And then stay tuned tomorrow. We'll be discussing whatever the milestones are for the path. So TBD on whether or not I'll actually partake. It depends what the cost is. But I'm not opposed to going for a guaranteed mythical relic. Unless it's like 80,000 points. Because I just don't think that I want to blow up my account for that particular relic. If it was like a Zibia Servitude or something, you know, something really, really busted, then maybe it'd be worth it. But the shatter buff that can be removed by like a Fabian if you don't go first, it's a nice to have. So, but again, we'll see. Alright, let me hop on Twitch and see who we can wade. Absolutely. I would take a Cat's Gaze over the Covetous Passion. It would also be proportionally cheaper. 100%. Like, that's guaranteed value that is... Because the thing about Covetous Passion, it gives you a buff that can make you ignore defense, but the buff could be removed. The Cat's Gaze just gives you ignore defense. I want a guarantee. So... Alright, it looks like we've got Undead. Haven't rated him in a minute. Some funky ass music, goddamn. All right. Last thing I always forget to mention, but I kind of hinted at it. But for those who are watching on Twitch, if you don't know, I am also a YouTube content creator. So if you'd like to check out some of the videos, they're kind of similar to what we're doing here, where it's from the free-to-play perspective, because of course I am free-to-play. And it's just showing you what you can do in the end game, despite not spending any money in the game. So if that tickles your fancy, then feel free, no pressure. But check out the channel, see if you like the videos. Maybe hit the subscribe button. Yeah. And yeah, these streams are once a week, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So find out what that is local time for you. But we'll be here next week doing the same thing. Probably wrapping up the fusion, to be fair. But yeah, we'll see what next week holds. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.